Tower of Ishal is off limits. The men stationed inside are securing it now. I think they used it once to watch for wilders coming out of the forest. By orders of Tairn Loghain, the tower is being secured by his men to be used during battle. I'm told they discovered some lower chambers, and they don't know how far down they go, so for now, everyone's to stay out. I didn't see anything like that when I was there, but who knows? Goes back to the time of the Tevinter Imperium. Dwarven make. That's probably why it's still standing. Make us speed your steps.
Hail, you must be the Grey Warden recruit that Duncan brought. This place hasn't seen such bustle in centuries, I'll wager. Need a hand getting anywhere? Not far. It's straight ahead, just past the royal encampment. Most of your fellas are in the valley with the army, but the recruits seem to be staying up here for now. Try heading north. I think he was sent with a message to the mages. Used to be a fortress long time ago, so I understand. Back in the days when the Wilders used to invade the lowlands. You were just on the eastern side of the ruin. The Tower of Ishal is there, but Tairn Loghain's closed it off until the battle. This side is the King's camp. We've got the Grey Wardens here, the Circle of Magi, the Chantry. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting somebody important. Probably in his tent. He and Tairn Loghain are on the southwest side of the camp. The king likes to spend time with his soldiers, though. Sometimes even without his bodyguards. Drives Tairn Loghain wild, that does. A few mages, yes. They even brought those creepy quiet fellows, the Tranquil. Gives me the shivers when they talk, all cold and even. They're to the north of here, bunched up with a herd of Templars glaring at them. Can't miss it. This is Ferelden, isn't it? The king has his kennels on the west side of camp. Stinks from all the hounds. These aren't cute puppies, though. Some of those dogs bite the darkspawn and get too much of that blood in them. It's like poison. Slow, painful death. Terrible. Quartermaster, he's just a bit to the northwest. Good luck to you, then.
I'm sorry, but the mages must not be interrupted. The mages must not be interrupted. Their spirits are in the Fade. The Fade is the realm of dreams and the land of the dead, or so the mages tell us. Regardless, they are not to be disturbed, not even by Grey Wardens.
We stand here in this hour.
Greetings, young man. You are Duncan's newest recruit, are you not? He's not a man easily impressed. You should be proud. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Wynne, one of the mages summoned by the king. The Circle sent many. Mages have always helped in past blights. To defeat the Darkspawn, we have to work together. It's not an idea everyone seems able to grasp. Stragglers, yes. Not the vast horde the scouts speak of. I wonder, how much do you know of the connection between Darkspawn and the Fade? It's home to many spirits, some benevolent, others far less so. At the heart of the Fade lies the Black City. Some say the Black City was once the seat of the Maker. But when the mages from the Tevinter Imperium found a way into the city, it was tainted with their sin. That taint transformed those men, turning them into twisted reflections of their own hearts. And the Maker cast them back to the Earth, where they became the first Darkspawn. At least that's what the Chant of Light says. It may be allegory, meant to teach us that our own evil causes human suffering. Or it may be true. It is as good an explanation as any for now. A wise attitude. It's worked well for me in the past. But I'm certain Duncan has more for you to do than talk to me.
Death is no failure, my friends. Should it find you, you will not have failed your keep.
So, any last wishes I can help fulfill before you head into battle? Life is fleeting, you know. That pretty face could be decorating some darkspawn spear this time tomorrow. Shall I take that quiet glare as a no? Oh, well, too bad. Well, you're not what I thought you'd be. Not a dwarf, yet here you are. The name's Daveth. It's about bloody time you came along. I was beginning to think they cooked this ritual up just for our benefit. Just to give us a good scare? No, they don't really seem the type. I happened to be sneaking around camp last night, see, and I heard a couple of Grey Wardens talking. So, I listened in for a bit. I'm thinking they plan to send us into the wilds. We're right on the northern edge of the Kukari Wilds here, miles and miles of savage country. My home village isn't far, and I grew up on tales about the wilds. Even been in there a few times. Scary place. I'm told the Blight started in the forest, so the army's here waiting for them to come out, dangling meat in front of the bear, if you catch my meaning. It's all too secretive for me. Makes my nose twitch. I guess we'll have to wait and see, like we have a choice. I suppose I could do that. Anyway, I expect it's time to get back to Duncan. That's where I'll be if you need me for anything.
Have you seen an elf running about? Young woman, red hair, carrying a suit of chain. Blast it. Where did she go? That suit better be patched up when she gets back, or by the maker up. Oh, pardon my manners. My troubles are no concern of yours, I'm sure. Oh, I'm the quartermaster. Did you come for supplies? Oh, I'm sure you have better things to do than run errands for me. I can find them myself. Arms and armor, for the most part. It's for the King's men, but you Grey Wardens can buy what you need for a modest price. I also have some, goods on the side I can provide. Strictly off the record, of course. To keep morale up, you understand. Let me know what you'd like.
Welcome, young man. I am one of the Tranquil, my friend. I am of the Circle of Magi. But instead of casting spells and reading tomes, I spend my time enchanting. It is a time-consuming process, but invaluable. Enchantment provides the Circle its wealth. Certainly we would not get by on charity. Allow me to put it this way. Do you know why those with magical talent are feared? Those with magical talent attract demons and spirits. We can be possessed easily and thus become horrors known as abominations. Even those with minor talents attract hungry spirits. Anyone with the power may learn blood magic from these demons. Hence, we are considered dangerous. This is our curse. Thus, I was made tranquil, stripped of emotions and talent. I am no longer dangerous. Our forehead is branded with magic, which stills our talent and mind. The process is irreversible as far as I am aware. It might seem such to you, but I feel no horror. I am content to serve in my role. Of course. What may I assist you with? It is the practice of folding magical lyrium into items first practiced by the dwarves. The Tranquil have learned their runes, and we use them to apply a variety of magical effects. We create the glow lights, as well as the magic staff, or the flaming blade. The irony, perhaps, is that it is our very disconnection to our former talents that allows the Tranquil to work with lyrium so. A true mage could not. Runes exist that hold the power of the elements that increase strength or swiftness. Almost any spell can be given permanency, given enough skill and lyrium. Naturally, the greater the power required, the more expensive the rune will become to create. True power comes with a price, as we know only too well. Goodbye.
What is it now? Haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle?
I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. It's like a party. We could all stand in a circle and hold hands. That would give the Darkspawn something to think about. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage? You never know, these mages sneak up on you. Wait, I do know who you are. You're Duncan's new recruit, from Orzammar. I should have recognized you right away, I apologize. Did Duncan mention me? Nothing bad, I hope. As the junior member of the Order, I'll be accompanying you when you prepare for the joining. Honestly, nothing. Try not to worry about it. It will just distract you. There haven't been any Dwarven Grey Wardens in some time. You must know a lot about Darkspawn. Hard to believe, most folks here think the Darkspawn disappeared after the last Blight, when your people still suffer every day. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started. With the mage, the Circle is here at the King's request, and the Chantry doesn't like that one bit. They just love letting mages know how unwelcome they are, which puts me in a bit of an awkward position. I was once a Templar. Not that that's all Templars do, but yes, the Chantry raised me until Duncan recruited me 6 months ago. I'm sure the revered mother meant it as an insult, sending me as her messenger, and the mage picked right up on that. I never would have agreed to deliver it, but Duncan says we're all to cooperate and get along. Apparently they didn't get the same speech. Davith and Sir Jory are here in the camp. Have you met them? Right, that cut-purse Duncan conscripted. Not sure what Duncan sees in him, to be honest. Keep an eye out, maybe we'll see the other one, or I can track him down later. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, Lead on.
In the name of Andraste, I bless you today. May you
You-
find favor in the Maker's
You
eye.
need to convince them.
No letting-
We've got to run. The Darkspawn are coming. The Grey Wardens will die. The King will die. We'll all die.
I apologize, Warden. He's been like this ever since they found him in the wilds. The commander who brought him here didn't seem to think so.
You can feel it, can't you? They taint the land, turn it black and sick. Oh, you can feel it inside. They'll come out of that forest and spread. Like caterpillars covering a tree. They'll swallow us whole.
That's quite enough out of you. You need to calm yourself, my good man.
They were everywhere. I saw them.
I apologize if the soldier disturbed you. Ever since they found him in the wilds, he's been like this. It's so sad.
He calls.
Let's get started.
Ah, I suspect you are one of the new Grey Wardens. Will you accept the Maker's blessing? I do, though I cannot pass on the respects of your ancestors. The Maker looks kindly on all who will receive him. How unwise, considering the difficult battle to come. May the Maker show you mercy anyhow.
Greetings. You must be the third recruit we've heard about. Sir Jury is my name. I hail from Redcliffe, where I served as knight under the command of Arl Eamon. I wasn't aware dwarves could be Grey Wardens. I've only seen a few of your folk in the castle dealing with the smithy. Of course, my father was the castle smith, so I encountered dwarves through him. I hope we're both lucky enough to eventually join the Wardens. Is it not thrilling to be given that chance? I would be lying if I said I wasn't. As a boy, my mother told us Darkspawn hunted down all children who misbehaved. It is a foolish superstition, I know, but I still shiver when I think of fighting them. Tell me, has anyone told you what this joining ritual entails? I never heard of such a ritual. I had no idea there were more tests after getting recruited. I suppose since you're finally here, I'd best get back to Duncan. I shall see you there.
Huh. Someone finally comes and talks to the lone prisoner. I don't suppose you've come to sentence me. I don't suppose you have a bit of kindness in you. All I want is food and water. They haven't fed me since I was locked up and I'm starving. Because you might want something I don't need. Them circle wizards got a chest they keep things in. Magical things. And I stole the key. That's why I'm here. I got one of them drunk, took his key and tried to sneak to the chest. They assumed I was deserting. I can't use it from here. But I'd trade you for some food and water. I swallowed it. But it's, come back into my possession since then, so to speak.
And an excellent party trick, I'll bet.
Yeah, well... Do you want the key or not? Just ask my guard for his. He's still got some dinner. I saw him put it in his coat.
Lucky dog. You Grey Wardens get to ride with the king while I'm left with the drudgery of guarding this deserter. They should have just hanged him. Put his head on a pike as an example. They say he was recruited before the war up in Dinnerham. Probably figured he'd never have to fight if he served the king, right? Why does anyone want to desert? Because he thinks he's going to die and he's a bloody coward, that's why. Either that or he's been listening to a bunch of hogwash about how the Darkspawn will drag you off and eat you. I can't just let him go, can I? The army will figure out what to do with him. Probably just waiting for someone important to make a decision. Then they'll hang him, I expect. And I can go and do something else. Don't expect it was an enlightening conversation. Did he now? Since nobody sends me nothing to feed him with, the only way we'll get that is if I give him mine. 10 silver. Well, feed him if you want to. I had nothing to do with it, though. If anyone asks why he's burping, I'm gonna say it was you. Just so you know.
So? Brought me some food, have you? I'm so hungry I could faint dead away. Much obliged. May Andraste herself rain blessings upon you. And, as I mentioned, here's the key. Use it in good health, huh?
Huh. Considering where that came from, let's hope we're not the only ones in good health. Yes? As I said, I was trained as a Templar before Duncan recruited me about 6 months ago. The Chantry raised me. And becoming a Templar was a decision made for me a long time ago. Duncan saw I wasn't happy, and figured my training against mages could double for fighting Darkspawn. Now, here I stand, a proud Grey Warden. The Grand Cleric wouldn't have let me go if Duncan never forced the issue. I'll always be grateful to him. It just wasn't for me. I believe in the Maker well enough, but I never wanted to devote my life to the Chantry. I spent years in that Chantry, hopelessly resigned to my fate. Duncan was the first person who cared what I wanted. He risked a lot of trouble with the Grand Cleric to help me. Or maybe he just happens to be a good man. What about? So I imagine. What would you like to know? The Grey Wardens are warriors without equal. Darkspawn threatened to destroy the world 4 times over. Each time, the Grey Wardens led mankind to victory. Nobody knows more about Darkspawn, and nobody's better equipped to deal with them. You'll see. Trust me. I don't know if I'd go that far. Duncan says the Grey Wardens do whatever is necessary to protect mankind from Darkspawn. That means some pretty extreme things. Whatever it takes to bring victory. Well, let's see. Surely you've heard of Weishaupt Fortress? The great eyrie carved into the White Cliffs far off in the Anderfels? That's where the Grey Wardens once kept their griffins. The griffins died out, however, and our numbers have dwindled since the last blight. There's only a handful left in Ferelden. A few more in other nations. The others are camped with the King's soldiers in the valley. The King's given us a position of honor at the vanguard, despite our small numbers. I think Cailan is actually excited to ride into battle with us. Maybe he thinks that's what his father would have done. King Marek, Cailan's father, reaffirmed the power the Grey Wardens were given during the Blights. In practice, we can't conscript too often without hurting our cause. We were exiled from Ferelden once. Best not to let that happen again. You want to ask me about something else? Of course. You want the Chantry's version or the truth? They seldom are. According to the Chant of Light, the Maker imprisoned the old gods underground long ago, as punishment for tricking mankind into worshipping them. The old gods still whispered to some men, and taught them magic. These men became the Magisters of the Tevinter Empire. The Magisters used their gift to enter the Golden City, tainting it and themselves. They were cast out by the Maker, and became the first Darkspawn. They fled underground, bringing their taint to their gods. The tainted old gods were the archdemons who rose from their prisons and led the Darkspawn against the world. The truth is, we don't really know. They come up from the ground, and that's as far as we've gotten. Yes, and it nearly wiped us out. When defeated, the Darkspawn flee back underground and seek out another old god to taint, thus bringing another blight. We haven't seen it yet. People are beginning to think this is just an unusually large Darkspawn raid without an archdemon to unify them. But seriously, the archdemon could be in the wilds or underground. It could be hiding. Just because it hasn't shown itself doesn't mean it isn't out there. You're a dwarf. You tell me. Your people have been trying that for just about ever, haven't they? They've controlled the deep roads ever since they defeated the Dwarven kingdoms. Even if we invaded, we can only chase them so far. The old gods were dragons, so the stories say. Big ones. Intelligent, even. The Tevinter Empire had big statues of them. Each dragon had a name and a place in the cosmos. It's all very intricate. The archdemons may not be the old gods, but they're definitely dragons. The Grey Wardens killed so many Darkspawn by the end of the last Blight. People decided they were gone for good. Of course. We chop off the snake's head. It's the only way. According to texts, the most famous Grey Warden leader, Garahel, killed the Archdemon Underal in personal combat at the Battle of Aesley to end the last Blight. Without the Archdemon to command them, the Darkspawn flee back underground. The Grey Wardens keep watch. We feel the Darkspawn when they come. You'll understand after the joining, if you... well, you'll understand. Not to mention, people start to notice when Darkspawn pour out of the wilds and taint everything around them. Just a guess. Thousands? Tens of thousands? They've had centuries to build up their numbers. You want to ask me about something else? Duncan is the leader of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden, which he would say doesn't mean much, as there aren't many of us here. Yet, beyond that, he's a good man. A good judge of character. I owe him a lot. What about you? What do you think of him? That sounds familiar. He's done the best he can with what little he has. And that includes me, I guess. You want to ask me about something else? I wish I could tell you more. Maybe ask me again after Duncan speaks to you about it. You want to ask me about something else? The one tomorrow. I'll tell you. It's Tern Loghain we should be looking to win it, not the king. Caelan just wants his place in history. The Tern is planning the strategy. That's my opinion, anyway. I guess I should be thankful the king favors us Grey Wardens. But I know who's keeping the lid on the pot. You know, that's a good question. The other Grey Wardens are riding into battle with the king. I don't know if you'll be with them. We're at the edge of the Korcari Wilds, the eye of the Blight Storm, right where the Horde will be coming. Ostagar itself is an excellent defensive position. The Wilders were pushed back from here time and again in ancient days. I'm sure Tern Loghain has the battle planned to the last detail. Still, no Blight has ever been defeated with so little cost. If we don't break the Horde here, Duncan says it will spread until it engulfs all of Ferelden. Then it will take an alliance of nations to fight it. which would be bad. Neither the king nor the Terran really seems to believe this is a real blight, however. You want to ask me about something else? Then let's get a move on, shall we?
This isn't good. I'd hate to waste such a promising member of the breed. Are you the new warden? I could use some help. It's not what you know so much as what you are, really. This is a Mabari, smart breed and strong. His owner died in the last battle, and the poor hound swallowed darkspawn blood. I have medicine that might help, but I need him muzzled first.
Nope, dogs and I don't get along. You do it if you're so eager. Just leave me out of it.
Centuries ago, a mage bred them to be smart and understand what they're told. They can remember and carry out complex orders. Most valuable dogs in the world. Trouble is, they generally imprint to one master. Re-imprinting them is very difficult. But without the medicine, re-imprinting won't be an issue. Will you help? We can try, but first we need to muzzle and medicate him. You're a Grey Warden, or soon will be. All Wardens are immune to the Darkspawn taint. The most you have to worry about is some tooth marks. Go in the pen and let him smell you. We'll know right away if he'll respond. Let's hope this works. I'd really hate to have to put him down. Well done. Now I can treat the dog properly, poor fella. Come to think of it, are you heading into the wilds anytime soon? There's a particular herb I could use to improve the dog's chances. It's a flower that grows in the swamps here, if I remember. If you happen across it, I could use it. It's very distinctive, all white, with a blood-red centre. If he doesn't get it, chances are he'll need to be put down. It usually grows in dead wood that collects at the edge of ground pools. Should be plenty this time of year. Good. In the meantime, I'll begin treating our poor friend.
We who betrayed your prophet Andros may now beg your forgiveness. Do not abandon us in our darkest hour. Watch over the valiant King Kalen and guide him.
Greetings. King Kalen is not in his tent right now. I believe he's with the Grey Wardens in camp, drinking. He holds them in high regard, you know, as his father did. I suppose I do, though he's spending most of his time with the Grey Wardens. He rides with them wherever they go, in fact. Terran Loghain sees the king whenever he can and argues with him over coming battles, but the king just waves him off. The king wants to end the Blight with a single huge battle the bards will sing of for centuries. Do you think that's possible? That's how the Terran feels. He'll do what the king wants in the end, though. The king thought it was funny that Terran called him reckless, and they fought about the queen. More than usual lately. Good thing the Terran's the only one who can speak to the king like that. As you wish. You approach the tent of Terran Loghain. State your business. How can you not know of Loghain? He helped free Ferelden. He was the brains behind King Marik's armies and drove out those damned Orlesians. King Marik rewarded him by making him a Terran. Can you imagine? A commoner became a high nobleman just like that. Without Loghain, you can bet the king wouldn't be winning against these Darkspawn. He's inside, but I don't think it's my place to discuss his activities. I suppose, as long as we talk quietly. He and the king have been arguing for days. The Terran's known the king since he was swaddled, so they don't stand on ceremony. The Terran speaks his mind, and the king yells right back. Personally, I think the king should do what Terran Loghain tells him. Without the Terran, we wouldn't be doing as well here as we are. I suppose you have a message for him. Hold on, then.
Yes, what is it? Oh, you're Duncan's new Grey Warden, I assume. You impressed His Majesty nonetheless. He could not contain his excitement over your meeting. Kaelin's fascination with the Wardens goes beyond the ordinary. Are you aware his father brought your order back to Ferelden? The Wardens are impressive, but not as relevant as Kaelin thinks. You're no surface dwarf, I can see it in your eyes. Smart of the Grey Wardens to look for new recruits in Orzammar. I don't suppose you'll be riding into the thick of battle with the rest of your fellows, will you? If Kaelin has his way, you will. Now I must return to my task. Pray that our king proves amenable to wisdom, if you're the praying sort. He is Marik's son, and the leader of my beloved Ferelden, and a very young man. I try to keep that in mind, as should you.
Look carefully, man. This wretched thing is a Darkspawn. They're strong and cunning and smart, but don't listen to those old wives' tales. They can be killed. Stick them with your sword enough, and they go down. Their blood is black as sin and poisonous. Don't even touch it.
This is supposed to be the battle that sends these Darkspawn back underground. You believe that?
I don't know what to believe. We've won every battle, but there's more of them each time.
Makes you wonder if them Grey Wardens are right.
I don't want to think about that.
Sounds like the perfect time to get drunk, if you ask me.
I heard the king was even gambling with some of the men down in the valley last night. He's all right, he is.
Good night for it, Warden.
There are lots of Darkspawn, different kinds.
Soldiers of Ferelden, my sisters and
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother ambushed me. The way she wields guilt, they should stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the mage, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then, since you're all here, we can begin. You four will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of Darkspawn blood, 1 for each recruit. For the joining itself, I'll explain more once you've returned. Of course. You must work together to collect the components, however. It's as much a part of the joining as what comes after. There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can. Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with. It's possible the scrolls may have been destroyed or even stolen, though the seal's magic should have protected them. Only a Grey Warden can break such a seal.
I don't understand. Why leave such things in a ruin if they're so valuable?
It was assumed that we would someday return. A great many things were assumed that have not held true. No, but the effort must be made. I have every confidence you are up to the task. It will be an overgrown ruin by now, but the sealed chest should remain intact. Alistair will guide you to the area you need to search. Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
Then may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
It's Pick, sir.
Go tell Tern Loghain that the war party's ready to begin scouting. We'll send word if we find anything amiss.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
You're the dwarf who walks with the Grey Wardens. A respectable decision. Some, like all Ash warriors, our training originates from the dwarves. Is there something you wanted? We have no time for idle chatter. We aren't. We're Ash warriors, as you should well know. Our discipline was passed down to us from the time of Luthias the Dwarf Son. He trained with the berserkers of your kind, long ago. Perhaps. I've never been, so I cannot say for certain, but I'm told our traditions are the same. We harness the rage inside us, nurture it, and draw it out so we cannot fall in battle until our last foe is slain. It is a dwarven discipline, but we've adapted it to let us fight alongside our hounds. That is our way. I trust my hound with my life, as he trusts me with his. I am no bard, but I will do my best. Luthias was a claimed tribesman. Some said he was too short to be a warrior, but he was strong and fierce. His chieftain sent him to the dwarves of Orzammar to negotiate an alliance, where he fell in love with the king's daughter, Skya, and brought her back to his tribe. She taught Luthias to use the dwarven battle wrath to summon his strength and ignore all pain. Luthias then taught this to the Clane, who made him their chieftain. They were simply the first to be taught. Others were inspired by his death to follow his path. Luthias' prowess earned him the love of Morrigannon, a beautiful chieftain of another tribe. When Skya learned of his seduction, she returned to her people. Luthias was grieved. He sent Morrigannon away, but this only vexed her, and began a long war between their tribes. In the end, Luthias slew Morrigannon in single combat. However, his wounds were great, and he perished when the rage ended. The dwarves came from Orzammar that day, and gave Luthias an honored burial in the mountains. And we live by his teachings even today. It is said that before the final battle, she returned to Luthias and gave him a shirt of dwarven chain, along with a final night of passion. Then she was gone forever. If she lived on in Orzammar, only your people would know. These are your honored ancestors, yes? And what of Luthias? Is he known? Time fades even legend, perhaps. I know Luthias was the first of our warriors, and that is enough for me. It was an honor. To scout the wilds and watch the progression of the Darkspawn horde. With luck, we'll find and slaughter many stragglers. The hunt will be good if my hound survives the blood of his prey. If he dies, I shall mourn tonight. Darkspawn blood is poisonous, but not always fatal. Those who survive grow immune to its effects. The Wardens say the tainted blood drives even the survivors mad eventually. But not today. Today, we hunt and we kill. They fight at our side. We don't fret over their safety as if they were children. They use scent to distinguish us from our enemies. But the blood of battle can confuse them. So we paint ourselves with Caddis, which overpowers the blood, and also paint our hounds so they know we are the same. Why? Would you steal our Caddis and give it to the Darkspawn hordes? If you tried, we would kill you. And that is no joke. My thanks. There is hunting to be done, and I'll not be kept from it.
My weapons thirst for Darkspawn blood. Soon battle will be upon us.
We must see to our hounds. To an Ash warrior, a hound is as much a weapon as a blade. We'll show these Darkspawn they should have remained in the past.
May the Maker preserve us all. They say the Darkspawn horde has grown larger.
Hail! I'm told you all have business in the wilds. The gate's open for you. Just be careful out there. Even a Grey Warden won't be safe in the forest tonight. On it. Show
me what you got! Yeah!
Any last words?
Excellent. I think we work well together.
Right. Let's get started.
Over here. Who is that? Grey Wardens?
Well, he's not half as dead as he looks, is he?
My scouting band was attacked by Darkspawn. They came out of the ground. Please help me. I've got to return to camp.
I have bandages in my pack.
Thank you. I've got to get out of here.
Did you hear? An entire patrol of seasoned men killed by Darkspawn.
Calm down, Sir Jory. We'll be fine if we're careful.
Those soldiers were careful, and they were still overwhelmed. How many Darkspawn can the four of us slay? A dozen? 100? There's an entire army in these forests.
There are Darkspawn about, but we're in no danger of walking into the bulk of the horde.
How do you know? I'm not a coward, but this is foolish and reckless. We should go back. That's true.
Know this. All Grey Wardens can sense Darkspawn. Whatever their cunning, I guarantee they won't take us by surprise. That's why I'm here.
You see, Sir Knight, we might die, but we'll be warned about it first.
That is reassuring.
That doesn't mean I'm here to make this easy, however. So let's get a move on.
Yes? I grew up in a village about a day's trip to the east. Little blot you wouldn't even find on a map. Haven't been back in years. I struck out for the city as soon as I could outrun my pa. I've been in Denerim for what, 6 years now? Never liked it much, but there's more purses there than anywhere else. And a pickpocket, thank you very much. Or was, anyhow. Who'd ever guess I'd end up a Grey Warden? I found them. I cut Duncan's purse while he was standing in a crowd. He grabs my wrist, but I squirm out and bolt. The old bugger can run, but the garrison caught me first. I'm a wanted man in Denerim, you see, so they were going to string me up right there. Duncan stopped them, invoked the right of conscription. I gave the garrison the finger while I was walking away. Don't know why Duncan wants someone like me, but he says finesse is important and that I'm fast with a blade. You bet your boots I am. Besides, it beats getting strung up. All right for an old bugger. He's faster than he looks, too. You heard the same speech I did. Blood and old treaties. Off we go into the wilds. Hey, I'm following you, aren't I?
I am ready. I hail from Redcliffe, but Duncan recruited me in Highever, a city off the northern coast. Have you traveled there? I was in Arlayman's retinue when he attended King Maric's funeral. It was in Highever that I met my Helena. I was smitten. She has the most beautiful eyes, my Helena. Now, for years I found any excuse to return there. We married a year ago. Arlayman gave me leave to serve in Highever, but I was attempting to persuade Helena to come to Redcliffe with me, at least until I was recruited. Never. I will return to her once my duty is done and the Blight defeated. Last month, Duncan visited Highever, and the Ban held a tournament in his honor. I won the Grand Melee. It was hard to leave my wife. We married only a year ago, and she is heavy with child now. But Ferelden needs my blade, and I shall not falter. He has a seemingly impossible task, with a scarce handful of Grey Wardens, yet he does not complain or flinch from his duty. We need to find those documents and the Darkspawn blood. It should be interesting. Indeed.
Let's get started.
Look there. Poor slobs. That just seems so excessive. Careful. I'm sensing Darkspawn nearby. Best be on your guard.
As you wish. On it. As you wish. Let's get started. On it.
Is it just me, or do you think you have a chance?
This should be easy enough.
Cursed creatures!
As you wish.